In this episode of Detroit Performs, therapists help clients explore thoughts, feelings, and emotions through the arts. A woman uses dance therapy to support intellectual, emotional, and motor functions of the body. And second chances arise through poetry. It's all ahead on this edition of Detroit Performs.
Funding for Detroit Performs is provided by the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs and the National Endowment for the Arts, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to Detroit Performs. I'm your host, DJ Oliver, and today is a very special episode showing how art is used in therapeutic ways. Because of this, we're at Penrickton Center for Blind Children in Taylor, Michigan. Established in 1952, Penrickton Center is a private, nonprofit, 5-day residential and daycare agency servicing blind and multi-disabled children, ages 1 through 12. We'll learn more about Penrickton Center throughout the show. Our first segment takes us to a visual arts therapy program in Royal Oak. ArtSoul Therapy's mission is to provide therapeutic opportunities, empowering individuals to heal, grow, and discover. Let's take a look.
Art therapy is a way of expressing yourself through the arts. We have a motto in ArtSoul Therapy that we help people heal, discover, and grow through the arts. And so, depending on whatever the issue that they're dealing with, I'm hoping that someone can leave here, feel good about themselves, maybe feel empowered by the art that they've made.
Getting someone to understand art therapy is not about the art, it's about the process of creating the art. So then you'll see somebody who says, I can't draw, I can't paint, I can't, but yet they're able to express themselves, in such a way that they weren't aware of. And I think for me, as a teacher, as an artist, as a therapist, that's what's so amazing.
We, through schooling, dealt with both psychology and understanding how art can help benefit people while participating. So we can also work with people that might have a hard time communicating to other people, people that might deal with autism, people that found that maybe talk therapy could be a little intimidating or they feel vulnerable. Well, they can be participating in art while they are sharing their thoughts and feelings at the same time.
It comforts me to do art of any kind. You don't think about particularly your problems that are going on all the time when you're doing art. You're just doing your picture. And it's very relaxing and soothing, and that's why art therapy is wonderful.
We work with individuals of all ages and abilities. I've had little ones 3 years old, and we've had people up into their 80s. And I think that's a magical part of art. It transforms so many different people of all different areas.
One way that it can help is by, let's just say even with hand-eye coordination, where they're viewing something, and by viewing, they're able to look up and come back down and to practice. I have clients that sometimes even have to, because of an accident that's happened, their non-dominant hand needs to be used. And so that's where it can also help too, is to practice with that. I have a client that I've worked with that it brings up memories where they've had issues because of a closed-head injury. It can help bring up memories of their past and help them remember things that they've completely forgot about.
Well, when it came to art, I lost it. It's like coming back from the dead, just slowly it came back to me. In the beginning I couldn't draw a stick man. People told me I could draw and I didn't even remember I could draw. That's how bad it was. But over the years, it came back.
Michael has dealt with a closed-head injury and also with grief and loss. And he's a talented artist, but sometimes people need that push, that discipline to be someplace to create their art.
She brings out the creativity in me. I don't know why or how, but she does. It works. Doing it actually works. It's not like medication or anything. This actually works, If you're really into it and you're doing it, your mind is, you're here.
I love it. It's peaceful. Makes me peaceful. And I can use my own imagination too, which is good.
Joan is a client that has been in an accident, and so she does have some disability with her motor skills. So we work with art, being able to express yourself through that.
Art helps a lot physically and mentally. You put your mind on making something out of some things you like to do.
The way that I see her progress is she once came in and she was very stressful from what a day she had. And when I start working with her, she had such a difference in her where I could tell that all that what she was feeling throughout the day, she was able to calm down and say, I'm so glad that I'm here. I'm so glad that I'm giving this time to myself to be able to create this art.
Good feelings to me, good things that have happened to me, and there's also bad things that I do away with in the past. It's always in the past. I always think about my future.
All you have to do is take the water and mess it up a little bit, and then it doesn't look so bad, see?
Mary Lou, she's had her own losses in her life and had her own challenges, so for her, she uses art kind of to combat the feelings of loneliness and grief and loss, and kind of transition that into working with others. So she comes to a lot of workshops that I do and shares her story with other people and just is real passionate about art.
You don't think of your situation when you're doing art. You're more relaxed and you just don't think about anything except what you're doing in the art. So you don't need to worry about, like I worry about, driving far and not finding a place or being upset or worrying about things. You don't do that.
So today, I'm gonna see if you can guess what we're making. Let me see, look at what's behind my back. Watch. This is a special one. So this kind of butterfly is called a wishing butterfly. The kids group today their ages 5 to 8, and it's just an expressive arts group. So they come together and they don't have a particular goal in mind except to express themselves through their artwork. These are called water paints, so this is what you do first. Dip it in the water, then dip it in the color you like, and then on your paper. I think art can really help express emotions so many ways through color, through texture, through the placement of an image on the paper, and I think it is really an individual thing. People say, what color should I use, Erin? Where should I put it? Do you think it needs more blue? And I always say, what do you think? And it's frustrating, but it really makes you come back and think about your own. I don't know, where would I like to add more and why, and what does it mean? And I mean, I think a lot of times when you go back and look at an art piece, you can see the story in there. You can kind of tell what was going on in someone's life, or gosh, that painting looks sad, or that looks so happy, or maybe a different time. It's not always, I mean, dealing with issues and grief and loss and trying to bring about different emotions. It's not always happy, but I think it's a learning process, and it's about healing and growing and really discovering, who you are, how you feel, and where you're going to go next.
Art helps heal because it's very meditative to be concentrating on a piece of art. Life is just stressful, and so to be able to take that time and to concentrate on something else besides all the problems that you're dealing with in life, it's nice and it's relaxing and it's putting you in the here and now. They can take that feeling to conquer everyday issues that people have.
To learn more about ArtSoul Therapy and all the artists seen here today, head to DetroitPerforms.org. Up next, Karen Barsy has been a dance therapist for over 25 years. She works with the incredible children here in this dance and movement therapy room, as well as holds classes in different places throughout Metro Detroit. Let's check out Karen and see what amazing advances dance therapy can achieve.
5, 6, 7, 8, swing! Back. Do you like coming to dance class?
Yes, you're dancing.
Yes, you do. You like to turn around?
Yes.
Yes. You like to do that? Yes, you do.
I'm honestly very proud that I know that I'm a dancer, because it's very cool.
Well, dance therapy is a pretty unique and fun approach to therapy. So if you don't move, you really can't learn.
So that's one of the most important things about movement therapy, and it involves every muscle in the body.
There we go, we're gonna cross.
When I go into the different settings, the response very often is, you know, I can't dance, but everybody can dance. Dance movement therapy is a psychotherapeutic use of movement to bring the whole well-being of a person together. We work with the physical, the psychological, the social, all different aspects. I meet them where they're at and we go from there.
Dance and movement therapy to us is getting the children to move in whatever way they have to move.
I really liked the idea that it wasn't necessarily the traditional approach at a therapy. It's more just getting them used to being familiar with their own body and their surroundings.
Dance therapy is an excellent form of communication, especially for my son who can't speak, and so it gives him a way to learn how to express himself in a way that he can do, which is movement.
I'm able to connect with a lot of people who are not able to go through therapy talking, and they need that movement to feel more relaxed or to express their feelings.
Paxton is a candidate for coming to Penrickton because he is blind as well as has an additional disability. He was born with a condition called bilateral anophthalmia, which means he was born without any eyes or ocular tissue.
Noah's 2, and he is blind. He has something called Coates disease, which is a result of the type of muscular dystrophy that he has.
With the kids here at Penrickton Center, I work developmentally, and that means we start out at a base level and we work towards being able to roll over. We work on fine and gross motor skills. You can do it! Yeah! Each one of those children has different goals that they're working towards. Anna is learning to walk. Paxton is working on confidence and spatial relations.
Karen does a bunch of different things with Noah, everything from speech to gross and fine motor skills. He works on balance and developing his core muscles. She works on improving his walk because he's a little unstable because of the low muscle tone. And then she works on speech by playing an echo game back and forth, which he really likes.
Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum.
It's going to heal them by opening them up, making them more comfortable with people, with being involved in the world, with exploring. This has been one of the better therapies that we've ever been in. It's improved his self-worth, his confidence more than I could have ever imagined that it would.
Oh, you found the ball.
His confidence and independence has really grown. A lot of kids, from what I've learned, that have a vision impairment sometimes are delayed in walking because it's obviously scary. You can't see where you're going. And Noah's at the point now where he doesn't even want to hold my hand.
Sometimes dance therapy is used without any music, but music itself is very engaging in the moment.
My mom is, of course, my dance teacher, and I started from a very young age. I actually started in her 2nd class, so I've grown up with dance.
At 5, 6, 7, 8, we have a group of kids who have Down syndrome or have autism. I have some that have cerebral palsy, and so we have different disabilities, but we bring them all together, so it's a good socialization activity for them.
Yes, all right.
I was born 16 weeks premature. I was about this size. I had every single medical device you could ever think of, including a hyperventilator hooked up to my body.
Cameron's had a rough start, and we were told that he wasn't going to walk or talk, and you could see after today that he clearly does both quite well. When he first started in this class, he was at the same level as majority of the other kids as far as functioning and that kind of thing, and he's come past that, but still loves to be there with that group and I think it makes him feel good to come and help.
I love helping out, and honestly, I live every day to help somebody because I was helping when I was a little baby.
Velma has autism. When I first started working with Velma, she really didn't have any audible speech, and she has really started talking.
Velma, she really caught on to me. I was really able to get her to really interact in the class, so that was kind of cool. And then I've always been her dance partner for the past 3 or 4 years.
She just really has connected in, which is wonderful to see. You want to do ballet?
Yes.
Emily is Down syndrome, and she has been with me from when I first started the class in 2001.
Emily does not talk a lot to different people, but when she comes here, she wants to carry on a complete conversation with Karen. And it's changed over the years, and she's also learned to work with different kids.
There you go! Okay, what's next?
And when you put them in a dance class, then everybody's doing the same thing. And for her, again, communication is not the best thing, verbal communication, but she can do it through dance then, through being able to move around, work with people. She learns a lot more than we give her credit for. She's, as shown today, when she was able to, two months later, do the whole dance without realizing she was doing the whole dance again, right?
Yes.
It gives me a place where I can just not worry about school or other stuff in my life and just be happy about something and work towards the goal of other people.
By being here, first of all, and being able to work with a group, it's easier for her to go to another group and work with them. The one thing that Karen always does here that she likes the best is making wishes.
Let's see, how about smiley faces today?
And she will definitely tell Karen, we aren't always sure what it is, but we can sometimes interpret what it is, what she likes.
Yeah, apparently.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that will be exciting. It brings a great deal of joy to me to be able to help these other kids and to know that I've been able to use the gifts that God's given me to help them and make the most of their lives.
When they do the complete recital, all of us moms are standing back there and the tears are rolling down because it's great to see, how they can put all that together and what pride they take in doing it.
It gives them that chance to step out there and be like all those other kids. And they do such a fantastic, wonderful job. I'm proud of them every year.
This is Penrickton Center's multi-purpose room, where the children spend most of their day eating, playing, sleeping, and of course, learning. Each program is based on the individual child's needs to promote independence in all aspects of his or her daily living. They're doing a beautiful job. Now, let's check out some upcoming events happening in and around Detroit. To discover more events in Greater Detroit, visit ixity.com. In the multi-purpose room, Penrickton Center has a floating ceiling track system, allowing children who are just learning to walk to move around. Up next, we meet up with a young poet who's working with those hoping to get their lives back on track. By supplying his students with the tools to write, Carlos Contreras is having a real therapeutic impact.
Need something to write with? Try one of those doesn't work, so try and give me back the one that doesn't work. Write about whatever you like. It doesn't have to be a poem. Whatever's on your heart, whatever's on your mind.
Well, this man the other day told me that he could not understand the world that I'm from, and it made me admit that I could never understand his either. I sit in this classroom on Wednesdays in the evening, and there's this dude who's trying to understand the world of orange jumpsuits and criminal histories. His heart is like a golden microphone trying to hold a conversation with a broke speaker. Yet somehow they communicate.
This program that we run out here, we tout it as a self-reflective process, as a journey of looking at oneself and the decisions we make and the choices we make in life and what we're going to do in our future and otherwise what we're doing in the present. Man, it's modeled partly in that way because that's simply what I do with writing. It's the way I figure myself out. I continually discover things about myself on an emotional level, and writing is the easiest way to do that for me.
Now, as I look back and remember the past, riddled with painful memories of childhood laughs, just an act to overcome what was done in an attempt to play dumb, while at the same time trying to suppress the memories and screams that insisted on waking me from my childhood dreams.
To be true to the art form, or as true, in my opinion, as true to the art form as possible, you have to realize that it's not about you. I write primarily about myself, and although that might sound weird sometimes, I write about understanding myself, and that makes me pretty vulnerable on stage most of the time, but the reaction to some of those pieces have been comfort on behalf of audience members that have heard them, and that has made me realize that it's not about me. It's totally about the experience of somebody else hearing what I have to say, not because they need to listen to me, but because hearing what I have to say might help them figure out something about themselves.
But life's tricky, so it came fast like a freight train. Once a young boy, now a young man. I was living bad words, no censorship. I had a good life, but it slipped right through my fingertips. I thought life was a game and I played myself with both hands. I'm ambidextrous. I know my light's not bright right now, but in time it will shine because it's mine.
I would say the biggest thing that people can learn about the folks that are in here that I've learned is that it's not bad people, it's bad decisions. I've learned that people don't give up on themselves when you give up on them, and our program aims to not give up on anybody. Holding people's ability to learn is dangerous. To put people back out on the street without any increased intellectual capacity, any increased capacity for being compassionate and caring, any capacity that doesn't allow them to be self-reflective, taking somebody in and turning them back out on the street, either in the same situation they were or in a diminished situation because you gave them no service while they were locked up, that's more dangerous to me. Our participants in Just Right come from, not all of them, but a lot of them come from backgrounds of drug-addicted parents. A lot of them come from split families. A lot of them come from being homeless. That's a lot of solitary time, and then they end up in places where you spend even more solitary time. My point being, they very rarely get to speak to anybody that wants to listen.
Start CPR because I don't feel the heartbeat. It's just another addict that fell off his feet.
It's not a question of if, it's just how are people going to change? Are we going to help them to change themselves for the better? Are we going to help them to continue to make the wrong choices and change for the worse?
Because it's funny how things could change for the better. And the good Lord sent me here just like a letter. And just like that, it all went away. Like a dream I had to wake up the next day. I'm free from that life, can't you see? Because once again, God saved me.
12 years ago when I started doing poetry, I'm from 2 older brothers and a dad who was a Marine, and so poetry, being a poet, wasn't like the most attractive thing, or it was kind of something to make fun of for a real long time, you know, until they went to an event, until my dad heard the first poem I wrote about him, and then they realized that there was something within that art form that although they didn't practice it, they could begin to appreciate, they could realize what it took. Engaging with an audience or with a group of people, for me, comes primarily out of being honest. You know, in my writing, it's simply who I am and what I do, and there are no punches pulled, and there's genuine honesty delivered.
I need to focus on the better days, but the crimes they committed be depending on the weather change. And people steady asking for it, but can they really weather change? I'm just giving my 2 cents. Because the dude I knew back in the day that moved bricks underneath the overpass asking for 2 cents.
I care because somebody has to. I care because I met a partner on this project that has a heart just as big as mine. I care because I realize that the facility care. I care because we're allowed to care, and until they take that ability away from us, then it's our responsibility to do so. There are 3,000 people in this place. If nobody cares about them, then what are we doing for our own community? Do I understand them at all times? No. Do I relate to their background and their experiences all the time? No. Can I care about them even though I don't have that level of understanding? Absolutely.
And that wraps it up for this edition of Detroit Performs. As always, for more arts and culture, head to DetroitPerforms.org, where you'll find featured videos, blogs, and information on upcoming arts events. Also, check us out on Facebook and Twitter. We'd like to give a very special thank you to Penrickton Center for Blind Children in Taylor. In addition to what we've seen so far, they also have this music therapy room. Perhaps we'll have to check that out on a future edition of Detroit Performs. But for now, and until next Tuesday, get out there and show the world how Detroit performs, y'all. I'm DJ Oliver. Thanks for watching, guys.
Funding for Detroit Performs is provided by the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs and the National Endowment for the Arts, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.